Hi, my name is Mitchell Fraundorf. I am a freshman at Sacred Heart University, and I am an undecided major. My view on education could pretty much be summed up in the quote by John W. Gardner, and he states, "Much education today is monumentally ineffective. All too often we are giving young people cut flowers when we should be teaching them to grow their own plants." And I feel what he means by this quote is that a lot of the stuff that is taught in schools nowadays are straight cut things. We're telling them to learn this, they're learning it, and they're going on in their life and doing it. Whereas I feel school should be supplying the kids with ideas and things that they want to do with their life and having them grow their own plants instead of us giving them something, that is already preset for them. And going along with education too, I feel that I'm more of a practical guy. I'm a visual learner. I see things, I do things, repetition, and that's how I learn them. And in schools nowadays, they give you things to learn that is unnecessary. Actually, back in high school, I had a sophomore teacher tell us that maybe 85% of the things that we learn in school we are never going to use in our lives. Unless you go into a specific, like area or field of something, you won't use most of the stuff that you learned in school. So I think that schools and education should be taught to the children at a young age, and then they grow up with it, and then they pick and do what they want to do. Like experience is basically how people learn. They go through stuff, they practice it and learn it. And I think that the school should be teaching children as they grow how to survive. Basically, long time ago, back in ancient world, and history tells us that school was only meant for the upper class people and philosophers and people who have this mentality of theories that basically are useless. And didn't tell people how to, make food, do all this stuff. And yes, some education in schools nowadays is helpful, but there are things that we don't need ever in our lives, like unless you're going into that area, like I said before. And also, too, the way that education changes. I grew up in a public school, small, maybe 60 kids, and for up until 8th grade. And the way that they viewed education was, it was, nonchalant, and it wasn't like they didn't drive in us how important education is nowadays. And then when I went for my high school, I went to a private Catholic school, and the education itself completely changed. It was more disciplined, and, we have to do this stuff and learn certain things such as religion. We had to take a religion course, whereas in public school we didn't have to. And I saw, even though I am of the religion that they taught, it was unnecessary. Like, I will never ever need to know or use this again in my life. So the view that I agree with John Gardner when he says that school and education should be telling kids, hey, you want to do something, go do it. Why do you have to follow the pre-cut stuff when you could be, growing up, picking what you want to do and enjoying what you want to do on how to learn how to survive? So that is my view on education.